welcome to the Great Alaska Family Connection. My name is Hunter Mizar, and I have the privilege of being the district superintendent on the Alaska district. We're traveling around the district, and as we are, we're just hearing the stories of what God is doing in each of the churches. So I'm in beautiful Juneau, Alaska, and this has been an outstanding visit. Been in the upper 60s, 70s, and just a beautiful, beautiful place. So I'm sitting with Fred LaPlante. And Fred, first of all, tell us this. How did your first call to ministry start about? You're kind of a unique person in that you are from Alaska. So you're pastoring in a state that you also grew up. But tell us about how did you first get that calling into ministry?
Well, I remember when I got saved back in 1976, feeling something different in my own life, and when I said yes to Christ. And then within probably within the half year, I knew I was going to be in ministry, and then I went to district assembly. And
so, how old were you at that point?
14.
Okay.
And before I turned 15, we went to district assembly, and I remember solidifying my call, and also the continuing education and so forth, under Dr. Greathouse. And he was up here for the district assembly in 77. And
where was district assembly that year? Do you remember?
In Soldotna.
Okay.
So it was really cool when I came back. First, I grew up in Joel Lake.
Okay.
And then the second district assembly was back in Soldotna, and it was like, oh, wow, this is home, and then my call. So it was a neat feeling to come back to the state and have that.
So I guess that's my second question: is how did you end up in Juneau? Because you were you've had lots of different hats you've worn in ministry through the years, and then you've kind of come full circle to come back to Alaska. Tell us about that.
It was a long journey. I wanted, after getting the call, I came back to Alaska. Mm-hmm. So I felt like I'd be here, and then God had other plans.
Yeah.
And basically had to tear sort of his dream in my life for me, and he had to tear my dream out of that, how that would be.
Yeah.
Because I was going to just stay here and just pastor all my career.
Yeah.
Wanted to pastor in one town only, and
mm-hmm.
so forth. But God saw otherwise, and took me on a long journey. And it culminated when I'm sitting in counseling 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago now. And it came up in the counseling time after all this stuff. I started talking about Alaska.
Yeah.
And I've been talking about Alaska because I'm an Alaskan. I just feel it all through me.
Because this really is a place unlike anywhere else.
Right.
I mean, this is not just a place that's like anywhere in the States. I mean, this is...
Yes.
There's something beautiful and unique.
And rugged.
And rugged, yes.
And I kept talking to him about it, and then I just happened to mention there was a church open in Alaska.
So you knew about Juneau?
I'd heard about it because the district, I kept in touch with the district. I saw the webpage and saw it on Facebook and so forth, and I said, and I said it to my counselor. He said, so why don't you apply for it? And I said, well, God took that away from me. That's the way I saw it. Pastoring again. And he said, so what harm would it be if you put your resume out? Maybe God isn't done with you in ministry as a pastor. And in that, I sent it out. I did all the things that needed to be done for it. Things had changed from the early days where you just put your name out and then they talk to you. Now it's filling all this paperwork out. And it was
how many years had it been since you've been a lead pastor?
It had been 16 and a half years.
Okay, so it looks different, a lot different.
Yeah, and I hadn't been in Alaska for over 30.
Wow.
So.
And had you ever been to Juneau before?
Yes, in 1990, right after my daughter was born, 6 weeks after she was born, the Juneau Church adopted pastors.
Okay.
for Christmas. Now, we couldn't come at Christmas
Yeah.
for various reasons, but we could come in April.
Nice.
And so we came the first week or so of April,
Yeah.
and we visited here when Jim West was the pastor, and had a great time. Sat right over there.
So where were you pastoring at that point?
In Cordova.
Cordova. Okay.
And it was crazy coming back and seeing everything. And I don't know if you know it, but sometimes when you've been someplace, you think of it just huge. You know, in your mind it gets bigger and bigger.
Sure.
It was like, oh, yeah, I do remember. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like when you go home and
Yeah.
you go, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So, but it was great to be back.
I think I had similar feelings when I was driving the Alcan from Idaho to come here.
Yeah.
And as I get into Canada and I then start getting into the Yukon and then finally into Alaska, and I'd forgotten how big the mountains were.
Yes.
Just how beautiful the place was. And, you know, I grew up in Alaska myself and
Yeah.
was here until I graduated high school. But there was that feeling of, oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and we both have similarities in that we grew up in Anchorage.
Sure.
And then coming here to Juneau, and as you got to see, the
Yeah.
mountains are right there in your face.
Yes, they
I
are.
mean, they're so close.
Yeah.
And it's so different. Yeah, Anchorage's mountains are a little bit taller,
Uh-huh.
but they're so much farther
That's
back.
right. Yeah.
And here, we live right on the
Yes.
edge of the mountains.
Yeah. So you applied.
Yep. And then the process happened, and we interviewed twice online, and then
Okay.
we came here in September, about 25th. We had to postpone it because my son, my youngest son, was getting married, and I was doing the wedding. That had been planned for 6 months.
Okay.
So couldn't come the week before, had
Yeah.
to come that week, and we did. And Don and I just felt immediately like this was where we needed to be.
Yeah.
And to have the interview and so forth, it just sort of meshed the vision that I had about how to do ministry and churches here's vision of doing ministry
Yeah.
around love.
Mm.
The love of God and how it just transforms us
Yeah.
was key. And then also just what the needs were here
Yeah.
and what I bring to the table, that also came together. And it was like, okay.
It's a God thing.
And yeah. And not only that, we didn't get to see the beauty of Juneau. Yes, we had seen it back in 1990, but that was sort of a vague memory.
Sure.
And things didn't seem like in the same place as before. But being here this time, we didn't get to see. They had a special event over at one of the cabins, and though it wasn't raining, it stayed cloudy, so we didn't really get to see much of the glacier.
Yeah.
You could see it a little bit through the haze,
Yeah.
but we didn't get to see the beauty.
Yeah.
And in fact, when we came back in to come for our first week here, we came in rain too. But of course, then on November 6th,
Yeah.
it was a beautiful day for the first Sunday here, and
Yeah.
so it's been great.
So, talk to me about the community itself, not of the church, but of Juneau. Obviously, it's the capital of the state. But what's unique about, if you've never been to Juneau, what are some things that people need to know that makes Juneau distinct maybe from the rest of Alaska?
Distinct. It is the capital, a lot of it. There is a multifaceted. There's a lot of different types of people, groups that live here. There's a lot of nationalities, more than I ever expected.
Mm.
And not just on when there's the cruises in town.
What you get bombarded with cruise ships. I
Right.
mean, this is a major stopping point.
Today is a Saturday, and we're low with 4 cruise ships, averaging between 5,000 and 6,000 people. Sometimes as low as 4, but 4,000 to 6,000 people
Yeah.
coming in. And today being 4.
I mean, it's such a thing that I was told you guys get a schedule as residents of Juneau of when the ships are coming.
Yeah, we can easily get it online, and we print
Yeah.
it up, and so we know like if it's going to be a busy day to stay away from
Sure.
downtown. So it's a unique place in that tourism takes the summer
Uh-huh.
a lot, and then the winter is restful. And if there's one thing I like about Juneau, is that it's green all year round.
Yeah.
Even when we get snow, it's green. There's lots of trees. It makes Portland look like it doesn't have many trees at all. I mean, it truly is a forest. We live in a rainforest.
Yes.
And it's
everything's
amazing.
so lush here. I just can't get over
Yeah.
how green and lush it is.
Yeah. It also is, like I said, diverse, which means there's a lot of diversity in groups.
Mm-hmm.
We have the native cultures.
Yeah.
We have a lot of Filipinos. We have in this church we have Fijian, and we have all kinds of cultures that come together, and it's just amazing.
Wow.
And I'm amazed at how great this place is.
Yeah. Now there is a glacier. Tell us a little bit about the glacier.
There's the glacier, Mendenhall.
Uh-huh.
Glacier is about 4 miles that direction from here,
Yeah.
from where I'm sitting.
Uh-huh.
And it drops the temperature around there and even here about 5 degrees compared to downtown. Though downtown has its own sort of, because of how we're off the mountain and some of it's blocked and so forth, we have different currents. The river is not far, and so is the bay, etc. It's about within 2 miles from here.
Wow.
And the tide goes in and out 20, 25 feet often.
Mm-hmm.
So rising and lowing. So it's an amazing place. Get to see whales if you're out there. The water, we get to see a lot of salmon, a lot of halibut, so forth. It's just a lot of fun.
Now, is it a challenge? Do you feel sometimes like you're getting claustrophobic? You're stuck on an island, and
Actually, Juneau's not on an island.
okay,
Juneau's part of the actual continent.
okay,
Douglas Island is an island, and it's just, we call it Juneau Douglas.
Uh-huh.
And then there's Admiralty Island and other
yeah,
islands all around.
right. But you can't drive here,
You cannot drive here.
so it's
at
only by
present.
ferry or plane. So yeah, I mean, do the people get kind of this itching to?
Probably around January, February.
Yeah,
February especially. It can be very dreary. It can rain most of the winter.
yeah.
Rain or snow.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be at times hard.
Yeah,
But when it's clear and the northern lights are out, there's not a better place.
yeah,
Probably a little bit up at Fairbanks because they can see it all the time.
Sure.
But
sure.
it's a rarity here, so
Mhm.
it's nice.
So tell me about the church. What are you excited about these days? You're not new. You've been here for 2.5 years, so you really kind of got a feel for things. Let's talk about the past. What are you excited about? Because this has traditionally been a strong church in our district.
Yeah. The history of the church is really cool, and how God has done so many different things in it. It's going to celebrate, our church here, we're going to celebrate 75 years of ministry in Juneau. And
When is that?
in 2028.
Okay,
And
it's amazing.
yeah. And hear the stories of the past of how prayer and reaching people groups.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I was shocked at who's been related, who've been in the church. My understanding is Keith Wright's former DS in Kansas City, and also been interim and so forth, been great pastor in places. His wife is from, or his wife's family is from Juneau.
Wow.
And the Simmon Pipers. And so it's interesting to see the ties. This is a...
You know what's interesting to me is everywhere I go, and I tell people I grew up in Alaska, I'm from the Alaska district, there's a connection.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care where you go in the denomination, somebody has some kind of connection to the Alaska district.
Right. And there's been a lot of, for Juneau and a lot of other churches, this is not a destination. This is a place where God calls people to minister for a time.
Yeah.
they've then moved on.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the struggle that we have at times is that if you don't get involved right away, you may never get involved.
Sure.
And it's true throughout all of Alaska, and quite honestly, any place in the United States.
Yeah.
But especially here, that if you're going to wait for the right moment, you're going to miss it.
Yeah.
And this church has been very fortunate. We've had great people throughout the time, and great pastors who have led the church. The church originally, and we're just looking at all possibilities now. Believe we're still supposed to stay here, but back in 1975, they sold the downtown property to move out here in the valley, and the valley was just brand new.
Yeah.
It was just starting to take hold. And the trees, as they're out here, they're tall. They've only been that way for 40 years. Well, that's before 1975.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that that's 50 years ago.
Right.
But these trees are about 40 years old that surround the place. And they had a vision that God was going to move out this way.
Yeah.
And that the people were moving out this way. Now 50% of Juneau people live out here in the valley.
Oh yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe the traffic going by your church this morning.
Yep.
When we were looking at the new signs, I mean, it was just nonstop cars going by.
Now, some of that's due to all the tourists.
Sure.
But you're right. It's called the Mendenhall Loop,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the main drag because this also goes out to the glacier.
Yeah.
So everybody in town probably goes out to the glacier once a week minimum.
Sure.
So it's
so beautiful. How could you
Yeah.
not? Yeah.
especially if it's a beautiful day, you can't find parking out there.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun.
So thinking about the future, what are you most excited about for the future of the church?
For what God's going to do.
Yeah.
We're really in prayer. There's dreams that we all have, reaching more youth, more children, and so forth. But this church has always been attuned to say, okay, God, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And we're just excited to hear what God wants to do. We have some ideas. We'd like to go forward with them.
Yeah.
But again, God, we just want to move where you want to be.
Yeah.
Not try to force anything, but God, what do you want to do?
Sure.
And sometimes it's scary.
Yeah.
Some of the things that he asks us to do. Yeah. I can't imagine what it was for them back in 1975 and selling the property.
Yeah.
And then getting this property. I don't know exactly how that all happened, but they got it. I mean,
because how much land does this sit on?
4 acres.
4 acres.
And the name of our street that the parsonage is on is called Brazil, of all things.
Yeah.
So, I live in Nazarene.
Yes, yeah.
When I talk to people.
Those that don't know, Phineas F. Brazil began the Church of the Nazarene. So that's what I was thinking. Oh, Brazil Road. How fitting.
Yeah. When I talk to my friends back at the Global Ministry Center, it's like, okay.
Right.
Really? No, I didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The guy, in fact, the person who sold this property to the church, he had named all the streets around for, I think, his daughters.
Okay.
Or by relatives, all by girl names.
Uh-huh.
But then there's Brazil, right in the middle of it. So, and then here they call it Breezy, so it's an interesting way of thinking of it. But,
one of the things I think is strong about the Juneau Church is your heart for missions.
yes.
And you guys have really just always knocked it out of the park when it comes to supporting missions. And where do you think that comes from?
I think from the very beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of the DNA, right?
Yeah. In reading the history of the church, and also just the whole Alaska district, it was bathed in prayer before it began.
Yeah.
And then God just directed. And prayer is so necessary.
Yeah.
And then we were given opportunities. And then the thing is, it's just opportunities to do mission.
Yeah.
And so we just have done missions.
Yeah.
I love the people who have been the missions presidents over the years, and they have all just kept pushing for it. We don't have to push to do missions. We have faith promise, and we, in that one day, sometimes for maybe another week, we reach our goal. And this year was 15,000, and that's on top of tithes, and everybody knows that.
Yeah.
It's on top of the tithe, the 10% that we give to God. It's on top of that, and people give. And it's amazing because we actually have a category specifically in the spreadsheet that says tithe, or it has tithe and then also for faith promise. And those are the first two things. We tithe, and then we do faith promise. And that's every week. There's something that comes in for both of those things. And it's just floors me. And it's not just faith promise in the Church of the Nazarene. We probably give more than 10% of our income.
Because, I mean, I see all sorts of literature about Love Inc. that you guys are a part of, but then I've seen baby bottles full of change.
It's called For the Juneau Pregnancy Resource Center.
Yeah.
And so we help with that. We support a couple of missionaries in Wycliffe. And then we also are doing 2 missionaries for our camp that through Avant Ministries.
Yeah.
And so we give there, and we also help with Faith Promise, which is helping families that have found themselves, while they're working, all of a sudden having some type of medical problem. And so we just help with taking care of. The whole family promise is we don't want to lose people.
Yeah.
And to the street and so forth. So we will bring them into a local facility and feed them and house them until they find housing again for themselves and get out of the debt. Maybe some catastrophe, financial catastrophe happened to them. And so that's what we try to do. We also, when we had the flooding, we had a garage sale and so forth, and some other activities. We raised $3,000 to help a family that had problems. We could have sent it. We tried to help individuals instead of just some organizations too. We really tried to major on helping the individual.
Yeah. I think there's something about a church that believes in missions, whether global or local, that God just blesses.
Yeah.
When we think beyond ourselves, our own needs, and we think, how do we love our neighbors, wherever they may be, God honors that.
Yeah.
And I think He really does bless those churches.
Yeah. And it's not just, and one other area that we've started really getting more involved in is helping. Well, it's always been there, but it's kind of also new, is helping those who have struggles that are either mental or some of that mental by birth, just birth defects, things like that. But we also try to help homeless. We're part of a ministry that feeds on Tuesday nights. Yeah. We work with other churches to do all that. We don't see ourselves as being the sole place where people find Jesus. We know that other places are, and we know that it's working together that we build the kingdom of God.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's really the philosophy of this church.
Yeah. So when our Alaska family sees this interview and they think about Juneau, are there some ways that they can pray for the Juneau church, for the ministry out here?
Pray that we can continue doing what we need to do. Yeah. We're coming up, like I said, to their 75th. We want a vision to get us to 100. Yeah. And we realize that what was the vision when they were downtown is different than it is here. Yeah. It's still the same to reach people for Jesus. Right. But it takes different ways. And that we would not get stuck in the old, but to continue letting the Spirit guide us, and doing the things that it needs to be to really make a difference in our community. We've been here it will really be about 50, well, it's been now over 50 years in this location.
Yeah.
And so, what will be the next 25?
Yeah.
Is it going to be here? I don't know. I don't know what the future is.
Yeah.
God does.
Yep.
And we trust Him for that. So I guess the real prayer is that we would continue doing what we know we need to do and continue to reach people.
Yeah, that's great. Well, let me just tell you, if you've never been to Juneau, you should come to Juneau. Reach out to my friend Fred. Fred and Donna are great tour guides that I'm sure they would love to give you a tour of the great city of Juneau.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Even if it's raining, it's still nice.
Yes.
Come in the summertime, you have more of a chance of seeing this beauty. Though we did get to have one group that came in the wintertime and they got stuck here and they had a great time.
Yeah.
So it was beautiful for them.
Yeah.
A little cold, but
yeah.
not bad. So.
Well, Fred, thanks for the work you're doing out here at the Juneau Church. And again, this is such a great church on our district. And I'm sure there's lots of people that are going to continue to be praying for your ministry and for the work that Juneau's doing. So
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you real soon.